Hello everybody, welcome to this video clip. It is the 2nd of June 2012 and we are here in São Paulo, Brazil. And I have the great privilege of being together with a very precious friend, David Calderoni. And he will explain to everybody, to the world, who he is. Who are you? And you perhaps in English and in Portuguese, first in one language and then in the other, could you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sim.
If you prefer starting in Portuguese.
Ok, I'll start in Portuguese, eu vou começar em português. Eu sou um artista. E é desde a perspectiva da arte que eu faço outras coisas. Eu sou, então, um psicanalista, um psicólogo e um ativista político-cultural. No campo das artes, eu sou um documentarista, poeta e cancionista, faço canções. Sou professor universitário na área de psicopatologia e saúde pública e que eu me lembre é só por enquanto. I'm an artist, first of all. It is from the viewpoint of being an artist that everything else comes. I am a psychologist and a psychoanalyst. I am a university teacher. In the field of art, I am a documentarist.
Documentary maker?
Documentary maker, yes. I make also poetry and I compose songs.
You just were singing for us now.
Yes. I am also a political cultural activist. And the confluence of all these branches of activities. That's it for now.
That is you. And as we discussed before, perhaps the second point you could think about would be, what is your feeling or definition, or what do you think about dignity?
Dignity is many things. One of the things is that the feeling is that dignity is very deep feeling, related to deserve a human life. Also, dignity is level and a manner of social recognition of one's status. And dignity is could also be considered, from my viewpoint, as a result of a geometric arrangement of the space for democratic forms of treatment that one relates to others.
Não em português.
Então, a dignidade pode ser concebida de diferentes maneiras, em diferentes níveis. Dignidade é um sentimento de si profundo, relacionado e também um sentimento do outro, né? Relacionado ao merecimento de uma vida humana que um tem em relação a si mesmo ou que uma pessoa tem em relação a outras pessoas. A dignidade também é... Qual é a segunda coisa que eu disse em inglês? Me ajudem. What was the second thing I said in English?
It's also something, more, not just for individuals, it's for society, for democracy.
Yes, yes. Do you remember, Gaby?
Você falou sobre as formas geométricas ligadas à própria democracia, uma forma geométrica de manifestar.
Perhaps I should
you said
explain.
Also standing. It signifies the standing of a person. You said status.
Yes. A dignidade também significa uma forma de se referir ao estatuto e ao nível dentro de uma sociedade que uma pessoa tem. Ontem você lembrava disso, me parece, quando e outras pessoas lembravam na nossa conversa. Nós estávamos na periferia de São Paulo e se lembrou que em português nós temos a forma de tratamento digníssimo ou também meritíssimo. Então, se nós usamos superlativos para se referir a graus de dignidade, isso significa que também existe a possibilidade de conferirmos tratamentos hierárquicos a partir da categoria ou da noção, melhor dizendo, de dignidade. I'm talking about certain forms of treatment, personal treatment, that implies that there is a hierarchical point of view of taking the notion of dignity as implying non-equality. And I realized that the dignity you stand for is a dignity necessarily implying or implied or engaged with equality.
Right, equality and dignity.
Equality and dignity. Okay. I should perhaps explain a little more how I appealed to geometry when I was talking about the relationship between dignity and democracy. Democracy once was created in human history. It was created by an arrangement of interests between people. I think it was through Solon's reforms in classical or pre-classical Greece. What prevented democracy from being created was neighborhood relationships between aristocrats, families. Aristocrats, I don't know how to say it in English.
Aristocratic families and heads of families, particularly. The paterfamilias in Rome.
Not in Rome, in Greece.
I know, but what would be the paterfamilias in Rome?
Okay, the correspondence with
the equivalent in Greece.
Yes, previously to Rome, and they made a kind of politics that in order to maintain their privileges. So when you have a privilege, you don't have a common law. You have a private law. And I don't know if it was Solon's or Clisthenes' reform that arranged geometrically the set of interests. He constituted, through his reform, tritias in Portuguese. I don't know how to say it in English, which was the base political unity formed by one person from the littoral to the shore. You know?
Literature?
No, litoral. Como se
from
diz,
the shore, from
the shore. The other from the inner country, and the other from the city. So the political unit, the basic political unit, each one has to compose the different interests. So this was a form to arise particular interests to universal rights. So it is a task for our intelligence to arrange meetings between persons. And as a psychologist and a psychoanalyst, I try to make people's meeting. That's my speciality, I think, as a political articulator. Like right now, between you and André Rocha, know how to feel what one person was reading from the other, and arrange the time of knowledge and the ways of one discover the other in a proper way, that one becomes reflexively dignified by the other and dignifying the other.
Wonderful. And you did that so wonderfully just now, 1 hour ago or less.
That was, I mean, by geometry. Why geometry? I'm very much influenced by Spinoza's philosophy, and he was very much marked. Ele é muito marcado. Characterized.
Influenced.
Yes, influenced by genetic geometry, which defined in the 70th century in Holland for instance, a circumference, not by describing the property of this figure, but the mode of producing it. So you have to arrange the affective and cognitive potencies of the human beings in relation in order for them to have a good encounter. What makes the encounter to be good from this viewpoint is to achieve the maximum potency of what this encounter could be. And this maximum human potency, I call it democracy.
Wow. Now you have to try to say that in Portuguese, to summarize it.
Okay. Am I being too long, perhaps?
Oh, no.
No, it's okay.
But it's wonderful, but just, it's not easy. You have said so much now.
Yes.
I hope you remember that you...
Em português é mais fácil para mim, eu acho. Como arranjar as potências, como fazer arranjos criativos das potências afetivas e cognitivas interindividuais, para que, tanto do ponto de vista dos afetos de alegria, quanto do ponto de vista das capacidades e aptidões de percepção, raciocínio e intuição, as pessoas possam produzir o máximo de perfeição nos seus encontros. Né? O que seria esse máximo de perfeição nos seus encontros? Seria modos de relação democráticos. Eu vou acrescentar algo em português que eu não falei em inglês. Para quem entende as duas línguas, isso vai resultar num enriquecimento de perspectivas. Eu penso que a grande tarefa que nós temos, e é esse o ponto de vista do movimento que eu propus e fundei, chamado Movimento da Psicopatologia para a Saúde Pública, consiste em atingirmos o equilíbrio dinâmico, ou seja, isso implica movimento, o equilíbrio dinâmico entre o cuidado de si e o cuidado do semelhante. I think this good democratic meeting implies singular modes of taking singularly care of the other and of oneself. To take care of oneself and this one with the other implies a dynamic balance. Sometimes you don't have opposition between taking care of himself, oneself and the other. Sometimes you have to manage to compose the tensions. We have now harmony naturally. We don't have now so naturally the harmony. Life varies. For instance, in South Africa, you were remembering the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It was an incredible historical task. How in a very huge and intense situation of distress and hatred, where the chances for revenge were maximum, how to prevent, to reproduce the cycle of violence and to arrange things towards consistent peace. This was an incredible task that was well succeeded. That's because in the movement I proposed, called Movement of Movements, called Democratic Inventions Movement, restorative justice is an essential part, because this Truth and Reconciliation Commission was based on the principles of restorative justice.
Okay. Have you said everything in Portuguese as well?
No, I'm not saying, I'm not corresponding exactly.
But perhaps you summarize.
Summarize, ok. Eu disse que essas maneiras de buscar esse equilíbrio dinâmico entre o cuidado de si e do semelhante, que define o objetivo do movimento da psicopatologia para a saúde pública, que eu concebi, conceituei e propus por escrito, num livro chamado Invenções Democráticas, a Dimensão Social da Saúde, publicado no ano de 2009 pela editora Autêntica de Belo Horizonte. Então, que isso depende de outros movimentos sociais e acadêmicos, né? Como, por exemplo, o da justiça restaurativa, cujos princípios guiaram a formação da Comissão de Verdade e Reconciliação, que propiciou e permitiu uma transição democrática pacífica para a África do Sul pós-apartheid. Né? E a justiça restaurativa justamente tem como tarefa, nas situações de extrema agudização das tensões entre indivíduos e comunidades, encontrar o melhor arranjo possível entre os afetos e as razões, de comunidades e indivíduos para construir uma paz consistente, né? Colocando a ênfase não na punição, e sim no resgate da história e em mecanismos consensuais de reparação, né? Que possam sanear o tecido social machucado, traumatizado pelos atos de ofensa.
Shall we come to the next part of our video?
Okay.
And we were discussing before that, you know, the next part would be that when you think of yourself, your experiences, and you think of the world, what would you like to share, to offer, to give to the world? From your, you know, it could be that you have many topics, like headings for many videos now. Like one video would be perhaps restorative justice, another would be democracy. You know, I can imagine when I just remember knowing you, and you know, I have about 100 topics in my head, you know. But now we are doing our first video together, and we would have to choose something. So what would you choose now? What would you like to give to the world?
I want to state my strong belief that there is a path for human family, which passes through the gathering of inventions that could lead us to a good arrangements of relationships, of social and individual relationships. This is the idea of the hyper movement of the democratic inventions.
So this video we could give the title Movement of Movements of Democracy?
Yes, could be. I also
so you could teach a course in that at the World Dignity University.
Oh, yes, I could try to do it in a dialogical way.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to do it. Okay.
In Portuguese.
Em português. Sim. A ideia das invenções democráticas é a ideia de que, sem modelos prévios, nós temos maneiras criativas e solidárias, sempre, enquanto a humanidade for humanidade, de desenvolver autonomia e cooperação. Democratic inventions general definition, as I conceived and proposed, is whatever could correspond to creative and solidarian. I don't know how to say it.
Solidarity or
yes,
solidary
manners of developing autonomy and cooperation. Whatever. Why I think this is a field that it is infinite?
Okay.
Because humanity can only exist if a mother is solidary with his
her child.
Her child. And this solidarity has to be a singular mode of taking care of this singular being. Could not be a general mode, a bureaucratical mode. So, in the very essence of what keeps alive humanity in the chain of generations, you have a democratic invention. You know, so it will always be a political ontological fundament for this infinite field of creating, in which it is always being created, democratic inventions. We have some terms already done to some of these democratic inventions, which formed in the year 2008 the group Democratic Inventions, which was born in my house, in this sofa, not here in my other house, but in this sofa, this sofa, with Paul Singer and Lilian Kellyan. Paul Singer representing Solidarity Economy, Lilian Kellyan represented the international movement of democratic education, with Lucy Booth representing the international movement of restorative justice, with Laurent Bove representing the international movement of Spinozian philosophy, and myself and my wife and another colleague representing what afterwards we called psychopathology for public health movement.
And this is your institute, NUPSI, huh?
Yes, the gathering of all these formerly inventions, let's say, movements, social and academic movements, created an universitary interdisciplinary center called NUPSI. Yes.
Em português?
Então, no ano de 2008, mais exatamente em 25 de outubro, se reuniram na minha casa militantes da economia solidária, como Paul Singer, da educação democrática, no caso Lilian Kellyan, da filosofia spinozana, como Laurent Bove, da psicopatologia, do que depois nós viemos a chamar retroativamente movimento da psicopatologia para a saúde pública, eu, um outro colega e a minha esposa Maria Lúcia, e da justiça restaurativa, como Lucy Booth. Não sei se eu esqueci algum movimento, creio que não, né? E então isso resultou também na perspectiva da formação de um núcleo interdisciplinar formado junto a uma instância da Universidade de São Paulo, mas aberta a outras universidades, seja do Brasil, seja do exterior, e cuja sigla é NUPSI, né? Que é uma sigla cujo desdobramento corresponde a Núcleo de Psicopatologia, Políticas, Públicas de Saúde Mental e Ações Comunicativas em Saúde Pública da Universidade de São Paulo.
Wonderful. Perhaps we can say goodbye now.
Yes.
And we can invite everybody perhaps to look at the website of NUPSI.
Yes, nupsi.org.
At the University of São Paulo, the Transdisciplinary Institute or Initiative, and we so much look forward to any kind of creative synergy that may emerge from here. So, and we invite everybody to contribute to that. Thank you so much. It was such a privilege to sit with you here now. And yes, we thank you so much for your life work, your courage, your creativity, and we think that your voice needs to be heard in the world more. Thank you.
Thank you very much for everything you are making for myself and for the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me kiss you.